Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we now have our tooltips for our building hexes properly updating in the title field, and now we need to go ahead and update the content field. So let's go ahead and do a switch statement here, and this is going to be business.interaction mode. And we're just going to go through and make a bunch of cases right now. This is going to be case interaction mode.buyLand break for right now. And then case default break. And this is simply going to read in the default something along the lines of, hang on, not case default, just default. What am I talking about? Okay. So this is going to read just simply ttO.tooltipContent equals, and this is going to be interaction mode tooltip unimplemented or unknown. Okay, so that'll let us know if that happens, and for right now, I think, will we go through and implement all of these? Maybe. Maybe we will. So, the content for this one, what is it? As a follow-up question, can we size our tooltip based on the length of this content? That's something we might want to do later on, but maybe not immediately. Okay, so for the buyLand, let's go ahead and say something along the lines of ttO.tooltipContent equals, and this is going to be, does this read a new line? Like, if I were to do something along the lines of blah blah blah, and then new line, blah blah blah, that doesn't work. Okay, good to know. So would we be able to do a line break like that? I don't know. So we're in purchase land interaction mode, or rather buy land interaction mode. So this is going to then read what the cost of buying the land is. And I'm going to actually bump this down to 1,000. And I'm going to call this base purchase cost. And I'm going to do a public int purchase cost. And we're just going to do a get. Like that. Yeah, it doesn't return a value. That's fine. For right now, it could return the base purchase cost, but I think it's just going to do something along the lines of public int building value equals. This is going to be as a base. I don't. Did I do this in the business? I don't think I did. I did not. Okay. So there are these balance variables here. I think we're going to have to figure out some of that stuff. So building value for now equals 500. And then public int. So we've got the base purchase cost, the value of the building already on the property, and then we're probably going to have some sort of a modifier. Like coastal property should be more valuable than inland property, but maybe there's a modifier on the terrain that would, I don't know, potentially reduce the value of it because it's unsightly or something. Who knows? So public int modifier value. For right now, we're going to have that be 250. And I tried to make that a floating point number. But for the purchase cost, we're just going to return base purchase cost plus building value plus modifier value. Okay. So for our tooltip content for interaction mode.buyLand, we're going to put this in as dollars plus purchase cost dot toString plus, actually, yeah, that'll be fine. And I'm actually going to change these over to floats. Like so. So that way we can do partial. Excellent. And we should round this to 2 decimal places, probably. Let's see here. How do I want to do that? Do I want to just truncate it, or do I want to round it? I'm kind of thinking... something along the lines of... well, the MathF library doesn't have the ability to round, I think. We could just use the generic C# library, like using system, and then return float math.round, like this, and then round it to 2 decimals. Because this is going to return in a decimal format. That's okay. Like, that should do the trick. Theoretically. One thing I am thinking is maybe rather than modifier value being an add, maybe this should be a multiplier. So rather than this being 250F, this is currently going to be 1500. We have like 2500 to start with. So maybe it should be like 1.25F for right now. What would that actually give us? Calc. That would give us 1500 times 1.25. 1875. That'll work. Okay. Yeah, that should be just fine. Okay, so we've got our purchase cost .toString, and then we're going to put in a line break here. So we'll see if this ends up working. Plus TTO dot tooltip line plus another line break, like so, plus, and then on this second line, we're going to do a breakdown. And this is going to be, actually, rather than doing the tooltip line, I think we're just going to simply put in, like, cost. Right there. And then here, we're going to combine these 2 mini strings together. And just, like, 5 dashes there. And then here we're going to say plus, and this is going to be base cost plus base, or rather plus base purchase cost. There we go. Dot toString. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this on its own line here and move this over to be right about here. And then this to be right about here as well. Put the plus up here just to even this up a little bit. Okay, plus, and this will be building value. And I'm actually going to put in a mathematical operator here, like that. Plus, plus. I'm going to put in a space there. And then a line break here. Plus building.value. Oh, right, because this doesn't actually end. Building value, $, plus building value dot toString. And then that would be something along the lines of plus this again, this line right here. So put that there. And I'm actually going to put the plus operator. No, this is... Hang on, I'm just thinking here. Trying to remember how this is supposed to be set up, like in a mathematical setting. Doing this abstractly like this is a little awkward, but we'll not have this plus be here, but instead it will be here. And I'm going to go ahead and move this forward like this. This will not be extant, so we should have there be 2 spaces here, I believe. And then this would be something along the lines of subtotal $. Or maybe instead of doing it this way, we should probably actually do it this way. Times, and this would be the land modifier, which is simply going to be land, what did I call it? Modifier value dot toString. This should definitely be to 2 decimal places. I think that's how we do that. I don't remember. Land times land modifier. And then that should basically get us there. So, if we go into here, and we wait for this to compile, and we skip the tutorial, which may or may not happen. Come on, go ahead and load. That biome hex generation takes just a little awkwardly long, actually. We'll go ahead and skip the tutorial. And in we go. Generic biome hex. Generic building hex. Okay, there we go. It just updated. So, store hex 19 none. We're missing some spaces there. Interaction mode tooltip unimplemented or unknown. That is correct. Some of these are generic. Okay, so interesting. Well, let's hop into our buy land mode. Also, I'm noticing it's not exactly locked to our cursor position. So, we should be in buy land mode. I'm wondering if these are not properly updating, because many of them actually aren't properly updating. Also, are we not in buy land mode? Let's check. So, business. Interaction mode is none. Okay. So our toolbar must not be properly set up in the land management button. That is correct. Look at that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do scripts, business, on enter buy land mode. And then I think we also need to... How many of these are actually unimplemented? That's interesting. I thought that I had implemented this. Like, on all of these. Apparently I was wrong. So there's the demolition mode. There's the root button, and then I guess we implemented it in the land management button. And then we toggle open the land management menu at that point. And then when we hit the buy land button, we do on enter land buy mode. And in here, on enter construction mode and menu.toggle active on the construction menu. Okay. So, down over here, we should clearly go ahead and do this for the create route button as well. So let's go ahead and do it in the create and edit route. So we're going to have multiple things on click. We're going to go into our scripts, business, on enter create route mode, and this should then do route management window, menu, toggle active. And then the Boolean here, I believe, should not be toggled under any circumstances. Yeah, that is correct. Okay, so same thing here. We're going to do scripts, business, on enter edit route mode, and then the route management window should go ahead and toggle active. And then for the remove route button, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Scripts, business, on enter remove route mode, and then route management window, menu toggle active false. Excellent. Okay, and now in the land management, we need to do the same thing. So on enter buy land mode, and then toggle active on the land management menu. There we go. And then the same thing for sell land. We will go ahead and do scripts, business, on enter sell land mode, land management menu, and this should be toggle active. Okay, there's that done. Now the other thing I want to check is why update tooltips isn't really updating. I think it's because we need to do a separate public void on mouse enter, like so. Yeah, and let's go ahead and do the tooltips on mouse enter rather than in on mouse over. Let's see if that helps anything at all. Okay. We have a compiler error. Oh, we already have an on mouse enter. That explains a lot. We're going to update our tooltips. And then, let's see here. Yep, there we go. So we only do that on mouse enter. Excellent. Now, if we change it without leaving, if we change the interaction mode without leaving the hex, it's not going to update. But that's not currently possible to do. So let's go ahead and run this and see how exactly this ends up working. This should be a wee bit better. Oh, come on. There we go. Skip the tutorial. Generic world hex. We haven't set up tutorial, or rather tooltips for it. Generic biome hex. Hey! That certainly looks better. Land management by land mode. Hey, look at that! So, the line end definitely did not work. Or the line break. I wish it had worked. That would be nice. There's another thing that I want to do first, because I realize that these do not have spacers. So there we go. That'll make that be a bit better. These don't have line breaks because I removed the line breaks. And I'm actually going to bring this over. Am I? This should be a line break here. And then we should also have a line break here. I think the line breaks were working. I just removed them for reasons that I cannot tell you at this point. No idea. Okay. This should now work perfectly fine. Come on. There we go. Skip the tutorial. We do still have that scaling issue on the y-axis. Do we have it on the x-axis? Doesn't really seem like it. It's only on the y. Okay. Well, we'll hop on in here. Interaction mode tooltip unimplemented or unknown. That is to be expected. We'll enter by land mode. Cost $18.75. Base cost 1,000 plus building value 5,000 times land modifier 2. Well, that's because this should be 0.00. What am I doing? Oh boy. Now it should work fine. Ish. Mostly fine. Partially fine. As soon as it generates the biome hexes. Which will be eventually. Okay, there we go. It just didn't have focus for whatever reason. Okay, so interaction mode tooltip unknown. Enter by land mode. Road corner hex number 57 in by land mode. Nice. Road intersection E. Road intersection two-way. Very nice. So this will do for now. Okay. Can we buy roads? It kind of feels like we shouldn't be able to. Doesn't it? Okay, well let's go ahead and try to see what's going on with our tooltip. So, tooltip. Edit script. So it's got this corrected mouse position here. Seems like that should work. Multiplying by the canvas scalar dot reference resolution dot x and y. Mouse pose plus mouse offset. Mouse pose y plus mouse offset. And then it sets the anchored position. What's our canvas set up as? Let's see here. Canvas. Yeah, with screen size. Match width or height. Screen space camera. I mean, we could make it pixel perfect, I suppose. I don't think that's gonna change anything, to be fair. But I don't think we need to spend a huge amount of time hunting that down either. So now that we've got the tooltips implemented for our... where's our building hex? It's not in here. For our building hex, at least for the by land interaction mode, it will be much, much easier to implement tooltips for the other interaction modes for our building hexes. However, the next thing we definitely want to do is implement purchasing land, which I think we're going to go ahead and do in the next episode. See you all then.